the American Nurses Association had a webinar entitled Preventing Burnout and Rekindling Your Enthusiasm, Energy, and Commitment to Nursing and Patient Care. And someone sent it to me and I watched it and I have notes and we're going to talk about it. I want to preface this by saying that I really did go into this optimistic because, it was just recently that the ANA's Chief Nursing Officer, Dr. Hatmaker, reached out to Jessica and I and our podcast, Nurses Uncorked, and she was a guest on there. And we talked about burnout on the podcast. And I thought, they're making an effort. They are trying to meet nurses where they're at. And maybe this won't be the same old regurgitated crap about burnout. And I wish I could say I was right, but I wasn't. Okay, so in no particular order, you should not overcommit yourself. You should commit to not answering emails and phone calls when you're not at work. Conserve your energy. Don't concern yourself with what other people think of you. And all these other kind of feel-good things that are going to supposedly prevent burnout. And then they said one thing that I take personal offense to. They said venting is not healthy. Don't be cynical or sarcastic because that means you're already burnt out. I'm just saying sarcasm is my love language. Like, it takes a certain level of intelligence to be able to master sarcasm. And if you have it mastered, like, you had me at hello, honestly. Venting is the reason I have survived nursing for so long. Like, honestly, venting is healthy. We need to be able to honor our emotions, and be able to go to a safe place and vent to other nurses or whomever that, are understanding of what we're going through. I vehemently disagree with this, that venting is not healthy and sarcasm is not healthy. But here's the thing. From the get-go, when they called it burnout, they had it wrong. We're not burnt out, we're exploited. We are exploited. Nurses are exploited. We don't have to be resilient. It's okay to not be resilient. Like I said, we need to honor our emotions, and we need to show the world that nurses can't always be resilient, because maybe then someone will listen. But let's go through it. Okay, so they use the PERMA theory of well-being. So P is for positive. B, practice gratitude, reflect on positives at work, because that releases oxytocin. Look for good things. Make your bed in the morning, because that's a sense of accomplishment. And I forgot about this one. I forgot about this. Recognize people like the Daisy Foundation recognizes nurses. Who wants to tell them? Who wants to tell them? Like, I know the ANA is partnered with the Daisy Foundation, so there's an invested interest here, but for those that don't know, the Daisy Award used to be a very highly coveted award for nurses that really meant something, but over the years has, with everything in healthcare, become utterly corrupt. Maybe not everywhere, but enough places, that it's clear, for example, that the voting is not, blinded. It's not kept anonymous. And I have a whole playlist on my TikTok about the Daisy Award. Anyway, E is for engagement. Pick one strength you want to improve on each day. R is for relationships. Every time you joyfully connect to a person, you guessed it, oxytocin is released. M is for meaning. Focus on your purpose. Why did you choose healthcare? A is for accomplishment, because grit predicts your success. Practice optimistic self-talk. Discover your strengths and exercise your resources. Ask genuine positive questions. And then they talked about their Healthy Nurse, Healthy Nation program, which I guess is free if you want to check that out. I'm sure it's on the ANA's website. And then they talked about the SE Healthcare Burnout Prevention Program. I don't know if they're like a sponsor of that or they're partnered. I don't know. But they did make a point of saying it's free to members of the ANA. So you should join the ANA for those resources. Yeah. I saved the best for last though, okay? If there's a negative Nelly on your unit and, they're like, we're so short-staffed, we can't do this. You should just combat that negativity with positivity and be like, yes, but it's our job to take care of our patients and keep them safe, and go get yourself a lunch buddy and create a positivity squad. Listen. If you ever come to me at work and you're like, will you join my positivity squad? I'm not going to be able to keep a straight face. Be for real. Be so for real. This entire webinar was an exercise in toxic positivity and victim blaming from beginning to end. Okay? And, the presenter was actually very good, aside from her content. I mean, she was very well spoken, and some of the information she offered at the beginning was actually valuable information as far as kind of the history and background of burnout and how the Surgeon General and other organizations are pushing for this to be a priority for healthcare workers and stuff like that was valuable. But all the rest, listen, there's no amount of positivity squads or making my bed that is going to somehow make this okay. Hear me, American Nurses Association. Hear me when I say, pour your abundance of resources, time and energy and money into addressing the toxic, corrupt healthcare organizations, because they are to blame for the burnout that nurses are suffering. They are to blame. We are the end result. Stop putting all of the work and emphasis on nurses. You can't shine a turd, We are the end result of what we have been dealt and what we're forced to deal with. The answer to burnout, are you listening? Get a pen, grab some paper. The answer to combating nurse burnout, or exploitation as it really is to provide safe working conditions. I know, it's a novel concept. I know. If we had mandated staffing ratios, if we didn't have to live in constant fear of being assaulted or worse at work, if there was a zero tolerance policy for retaliation when nurses report any kind of concerns or wrongdoing, if there wasn't criminal prosecution of nurses for making a basic mistake, we wouldn't be suffering from burnout. Pour your resources into all of the toxic, corrupt, evil healthcare organizations that survive on the backs of nurses' burnout. They literally are monetizing nurses' burnout. That's the answer. Stop putting all of the work and blame and emphasis on the nurses that are simply having a normal, predictable human response to the impossible ongoing conditions that we are forced to be in. This is extremely disappointing, ANA. Truly. Do better.